Cooking black red bean chili with a side of white rice, and later we'll be baking tilapia with some mixed vegetables. So let's get started with the chili. First off, I have a little pan here where I'm going to cook some red beans. I'm going to put some EVOO, extra virgin olive oil, and I'm also going to put in some of this. This here is tomato paste. I'm going to put a nice big scoop of this. There we go. Over here I have some nice chopped onions and some fresh garlic. Now I chopped up the onions really big, that way it's easy to pull out for those who don't like onions but like the flavor. You know, you gotta have the flavor for the beans. So right here we're gonna be cooking the red beans, sorry. And over here, this is some red pepper, tomato, and we got the green olives. So we got some cilantro here, which is kind of thick. It's pureed, so it'll take a little bit to come out. There we go. You don't want to put too much, but just enough to give it a little bit of that Mexican flavor. And here we got just a couple pinches of this. This is some cumin seed taco seasoning to give it a little more Mexican flavor. Some oregano, onion pepper, black pepper, salt, all of that. And then from there we're going to add a little bit of this. Now this is actually tomato sauce for spaghetti, but it works really well with chili. I'm not lying. It's going to be good. So the last thing I'm going to throw in here before I put it on the stove is some Lea and Pepper's Worcestershire sauce. This is like my little bottle of magic. It's so good. It's good on a lot of things because it gives it that sweet yet spicy but not too spicy flavor. It just gives it the right kind of kick. So we're just going to put that in a little medium to high heat right here. This is going to be for the red beans. Over here I already have some black beans. Did exactly the same thing with the black beans as I did with the red. So here I've got my red beans right here, which I'm going to add after I get all these vegetables and seasonings all sweating up a storm over here.
Hi, I'm Sam Matrano, Executive Deputy Chief of the Rochester Fire Department. Did you know that most home fires start in the kitchen? Don't let it happen to you. Never leave the kitchen when food is cooking, on the stove or in the oven. Also, keep your cooking area clear of anything that can catch fire, like pot holders, towels, curtains, or other paper products. Avoid wearing loose-fitting clothes or long sleeves when cooking at the stove. Keep children away from the cooking area and pot handles turned inward. If you do have a grease fire on the stove, get everyone out and call 911 from a safe location. Do not try to fight the fire yourself. Do not disable your smoke detectors for any reason. It is your first alert to a fire problem.
Alright, so I'm just stirring this up on medium-high heat. Going to let the onions and the garlic and all the other herbs sweat a little bit before we add in the red beans. Doing exactly the same thing with these beans as I did with those beans. I'm going to check on the rice. Let's see. The rice is good. The rice is actually done. This is just a simple white rice. Latin style white rice, so it's a little more grainy than the other types of rice. So I did 4 cups of water, 4 cups of white rice, olive oil, and salt. Pretty simple. So when you have the chili, you can either have it on the side or you can mix it. It's good either way. Alright. So, okay, we got that smelling good. So now we're just going to add the red kidney beans. That. There we go. Stir that up a little bit. Alright, so now that we've got the beans in the mix, we're just going to lower the heat a little bit, about medium-low heat. We're going juices get into the beans. Now we're going to take this meat here. Now this is our ground beef for the chili. Basically you're just going to put everything that I already put into the beans into this. That way when we combine it together there's a nice even flavor through the whole thing. So before I start with this I should wash my hands because I'm going to get down and dirty with that meat. Now that we've got our hands all clean, we can add in the herbs and spices. We got taco seasoning, garlic, some onion pepper, salt, whole 9 yards in here. Oh, cumin seed, that's really good too. Alright, and over here we're going to add more of that cilantro base. I've pureed. There we go. Some tomato base, tomato sauce, alright, and of course, my little bottle of magic. Now you can add a little or a lot. I happen to like a lot. Alright, so now I'm going to just get in there. Get all these flavors in. Oh, this is good meat too. It's red. No, that's bad. It's red. No, but really, red meat is good. If it's brown, don't buy it. Alright. So, clean as much off your fingers as you can and get it back into the bowl. So you don't want to waste. So that's actually pretty much done. So now we're just going to use this frying pot right here. Exactly the same thing. I'm going to put a little bit of EVOO, extra virgin olive oil, and some of these onions and garlic. Ooh, here's a good chunk of garlic right here. That's good. And a little bit of this, just a little, because we're going to add a little bit more of that later. Bottle of magic. Worcestershire. Alright, so now I'm just going to go put this on the stove. Medium-high heat for now, just to get the oil sizzling, get those onions and olives sweating.
When you have a sharp knife, you don't need to fear the knife. It will cut just great for you. Here's some general rules about knife safety. Whenever cutting, if your fingers are like this, you're going to cut them, I guarantee it. If your fingers are like this, the knife can be used as a gauge and you won't cut it. For example, if I were to grab this tomato and slice it, none of my fingertips are exposed. We're using the claw, and it's very easy just to take the knife and slice away. Don't cut yourself. Be smart. Keep the hand in the claw. It works every time.
So now that that's sizzling, we're going to go ahead and add this ground beef. So I'm going to break this up in here because you don't want to have too big of any chunks. Alright, it'll start breaking up more as it cooks, so just spread it out a little bit. Alright. So while that's cooking, we're going to go ahead and preheat the oven and get started on the tilapia. Alright, so here's a little dash of chili pepper. Alright. Going to add just a little bit more onion and garlic. Make sure you get some of that garlic in there. Alright. And of course the Worcestershire. There we go. We got those red beans done. Black beans are done. Let's just check on our beef here. Whew. That looks done. Wow, it smells really good. So should be a pretty good meal. So now I'm just going to turn everything off. Because I'm going to add my beef, my red beans, and my black beans. Alright, so let's go ahead and set this up. Red beans. Alright, so we've got the chili. It's pretty much made. Just gonna let that simmer for a little bit. Alright, put the top on it. While we let that simmer, I'm gonna go ahead and start seasoning the tilapia. Alright, so now we're gonna get started with the tilapia. Tilapia is a really good fish. It's a white, mild fish. So Worcestershire sauce really goes good with it. It gives it a great kick. But what we're going to add first is a little more of the onion and garlic. Same stuff we used for the chili. Just going to finish that off actually. Because this is all going to go in the oven. It's going to get really tasty and smelly in there. So, especially with that garlic. Alright. So this is the pasta sauce with some ginger and sesame. This is really good on fish. Really any kind of fish, tuna, whatever. Over here we've got olive oil, lemon, sesame seed, ginger. And so we're just gonna pour that on there. Next thing we're gonna do is add the tomato, olives, red pepper, and then Worcestershire. Gotta have that. Good on any fish. So we're just gonna spread this around. Make sure we get it on every piece of fish. So put that there. So, next thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to take a fork and I'm going to stab it. Just to get all the juices running all through the fish. So while it's in the oven, it's really going to, this aroma and taste is going to get all through the fish. Instead of just the outside. I'm just going to add a little bit more while I'm stabbing. Alright, so we're done with that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to grease our pan. So we can put it on and just pop it in the oven. About 350, 400 degrees. It's already preheated at 400. Alright. Just got myself wet. So when you grease the pan, you don't want to put too much oil. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking a little bit of paper towel and I'm going to dip it. Just the tip. And I'm just going to spread it around. Just a little more. So, I'm going to take one fish at a time. You really want to make sure they're spaced apart well, because you don't want to get them to fuse together, because then it just ends up a mess, because fish is a very delicate meat. It breaks easy. So, add one more fish. Now what we're going to do, we're going to move this up this way, and then we're going to add this piece down there. That's good. Alright, so this is, why am I using this for? Let's get this spoon. There we go. Get that right on top of there. Let all the juices seep through the fish. Alright. Alright, so that looks good to me. What do you think? Alright. So, it's ready to go in the oven. Oh, it's hot in there. Alright. So we're just going to let that bake for about 20 minutes to half an hour. It's fish. It doesn't take long to cook at all.
Hi, Christy Ferretti here with Expert Village. Ever wonder how to store meats properly in your refrigerator? Well, if you didn't know, the shelf just above your crisper drawers, which is going to be your bottom shelf of your refrigerator, is going to be the coldest part of your fridge. That's where you want to keep your meats. It's going to keep them fresher longer and give you an ultimately better taste and better flavor. Now, when you have various different meats, such as I have here, I have a beef ribeye and I have a chicken breast. The easy way to think about it is, how do you eat your meat? You're always going to eat your chicken well done. We want to cook all the salmonella and any bad things out of it. That's going to go on the bottom. You don't really ever want to put anything below chicken. If you can at all store it separately, that's going to really be your best option, because that's going to reduce any risk of cross-contamination. Now, when you get home these packages from the grocery store, there is a chance that they're going to have some extra juices in it, and you don't want those to leak out. So what you want to do is either take a plate and set the meats on the plate, and that way nothing's going to leak down into the bottom part of your fridge or leak from one meat to the other. And then along with that, or separately, you can take them and put them into a zip-top bag, keeping it in the refrigerator package, so you just have, or in the grocery store package, you just have an extra guarantee. Seal it up, and then you can stack your meat safely on that bottom shelf in your fridge, keeping them nice and cold and avoiding any risk of cross-contamination.
Now we want to get our vegetables washed. Got broccoli, cauliflower, carrots. Nice and healthy, goes good with fish. Alright, give that a nice shake out. Pour that in the pot. Okay. And just pour some extra virgin olive oil on that. Salt and pepper. Worcestershire. And a little more. Couldn't hurt. Shake that around. Alright, so now we're just going to put that over here on the stove. So on medium-high heat, just to heat the pot up. Alright. And now what?
Oh, okay. Is the
Don't look good?
yeah? Hold on.
There was a big error in my paper, and I'm spending it all on Oriental Avenue prostitutes.
Okay. So, ready?
Alright, so now everything's done. So let's get some taste testers in here. Taste testers. I know, I had a feeling. Janaya, you want to eat?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. Want some rice?
Yeah.
Okay. You want some chili?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, she's blowing on it.
We're going to be dicing the peppers. Alright, so let's get started on this homemade marinara sauce. Tomato, red pepper, onion, and garlic. A little oregano and a little basil.